Hi guys, I'm Ghost Jones and welcome back to the Ghost Jones YouTube channel. So this series is going to be called Web Therapy. Basically because I used to be in therapy and it kind of was like this, like it was just like a little Zoom style and I just was kind of like sharing all my feelings or whatever. So this series on my channel is not going to have the same production quality as some of my other stuff, like reviews and everything. Just to let y'all know, like, this is just really personal. This is like a web diary situation. Like, I don't want to hear nothing about quality audio, all that. I just got off the phone with my sister and my mom as well, and we were just kind of like talking about like some stuff that we had planned for the family. Like, they want to. I don't even want to tell you all that, but basically, my sister wants to move to Atlanta. My mom wants to get a house in Atlanta. We were talking about all that stuff, and I was telling my sister about how I think that she should just like move with me for a little bit. Like, I'll transfer into a two-bedroom and just like we'll figure it out until our mom can get a house here. So I ended up talking to her because she basically was like, she wants to have her own apartment. And I was like, babe, I've been here for 5 years and this is like my first time ever having like my own apartment. Like, I've always had roommates. And before then I used to live with my aunt. So at the time that I was living with my aunt had a boyfriend. So we're gonna call my aunt Auntie Keisha. Okay, so Auntie Keisha had a boyfriend named Tommy. So basically, what happened was when before I moved to Atlanta, I had dropped out of school and everything. Like, basically, wasn't doing school anymore. Kind of was just over it. Just knew I wanted to be in Atlanta, wanted a new city, wanted to do everything. So I called my Aunt Keisha and I was like, "Hey, girl, can I come stay with you?" And she was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So I pack all my bags and I moved to Atlanta. I got a job working for. I mean, I don't know if she should get a nickname because I actually do have stories about her too. So yes, I'll give her a nickname. So I ended up working for somebody who is a reality star, and they had a clothing store. That's all that I'm gonna say about that right now. But like, once we really kind of get into those stories, you guys are gonna you'll probably figure out who it is. One, but also like you'll just it's that's a whole nother separate thing. So I pack all my bags. I get my job working for this famous lady or whatever at her store for like pennies on the dollar, and I move in with my aunt Keisha. So me and my aunt Keisha, we're not like really close, but we're cool enough to where it wasn't awkward with me living with her. Like, she's some person, she doesn't like to be alone. So it was perfectly fine. She works at night. She has a dog. So like for her, it was beneficial because it was like I have somebody that can watch my dog now, even though she had a man, even though she had Tommy. She has somebody who can watch her dog, tend to her house like at night when she's not there, basically. So it was like a mutual thing. So I move in. When I first move in, Tommy is not there. I don't know that Tommy also lives there. So a little bit of background about Tommy. Tommy is a contractor. So like the type of contracting work that he does, he just takes jobs all over the nation. So it's like a nationwide thing. So like one month he might be in Missouri. The next month he might be in Florida. The month after that might be a down month. So when I first move in with Auntie Keisha, for like the first month and a half, we don't see Tommy. So the week before Tommy comes back, Auntie Keisha is like, um, I want you to know something. Tommy does live here and he'll be back. He'll be finished up with his job in a few weeks. I also want to let you know, you have a lot of nice stuff. Like, you have nice watches and things like that. Uncle Tommy steals. So just please make sure that you put all of your stuff up. She was like, basically, oh, shoot, sorry. So she was like, basically, he stole a couple of watches from her and he pawned them, and she don't want that to happen to me. So I'm like, then why the hell is Uncle Tommy living? Like, excuse me, you two. Why is Uncle Tommy living here if Uncle Tommy is robbing you and like selling your stuff like to the pawn shop? First off, we're on the south side of Atlanta, so it's pawn shops everywhere. Like, that's easy. To me, Uncle Tommy sound like a crackhead, and we need to be turning Uncle Tommy loose. So she was like, yeah, like, he stole my stuff, like my watches or whatever, and he pawned them. Like, just make sure you have all your stuff. Then she was like, also, I'm buying another TV, but this TV, I want to put it in my room, but until I get it mounted and everything, we'll just keep it in your room. And we'll just tell Uncle Tommy that you bought that TV for yourself. Now, let's talk about my room. And let's just talk about the home, period. So, Auntie Keisha has a small hoarding problem. So, like, her house is not packed to the brim with stuff, but she could stand to lose a lot of things. But she just holds on to everything. So, like when I went to go live with her, I really wanted it to be like temporary, like 30 to 40 days max, because living like that is crazy. Also, when I moved into Auntie Keisha's house, excuse me, there was no door on my room because Auntie Keisha, she kind of worked from home, kind of didn't. Like, she had like a hybrid schedule before that was like a thing. So the room that I was staying in was really like an office for her. So she took the door off. Like, as long as I've been alive, that room has never had a door. So instead of us just going to the store, because Auntie Keisha is kind of cheap, and getting me a door, Auntie Keisha just was like, here's a room. Like, and true enough, she had another, so she lived in like a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath townhome. The other bedroom that actually would have made more sense for me to be in was packed with so much stuff that it would have actually been physically impossible for me to live in there. So I had to take her guest room, like her office room or whatever. So you mean to tell me Uncle Tommy is a thieving crackhead? I don't have no door, so anybody can walk into my room at any given moment, any time of the day, and I'm just opening out to the elements, and this man might potentially rob me? Sir, I think you should really tell people that before they move into your house. Like, everything was so cool, everything was copacetic. We was cordial with each other. Till she told me about Uncle Tommy. I'm like, no. Mm. So, Uncle Tommy moves back into the house. He comes in town. Everything is cool at first. Like, I'm not really having too many issues with Uncle Tommy. The other thing is, Uncle Tommy has been with my aunt since I was in the 10th grade. So at this point, it's been like, what, 1, 2, 3? It's been like 4 years. So she's been with Uncle Tommy for 4 years. Uncle Tommy doesn't live, like, he lives in the house, but it seems like it's more of like a transitional space for him. So he's only ever there when he's not working. But Uncle Tommy also does not sleep in her room. So he sleeps downstairs. Like, so he's sleeping on the couch like every single day of his life. All he would do is he would wake up, get drunk. I don't even think the man was taking a bath, a shower. I don't know if he was brushing his teeth. Nothing. The man was living like a bum. Like a straight up bum. Like, downstairs. So, like, all he would do was wake up, watch TV, let her dog out, and go to the store and get some beer, and that was it. Like, there was you never saw Uncle Tommy eating nothing. You never saw Uncle Tommy, like, going upstairs to do nothing. Like, it's only a half bath down there. So that's why I'm always like, when was he ever taking a shower? Like, her house didn't stink, But if somebody has not taken a shower in a week, you should be able to smell that. Like Uncle Tommy slept on that couch so much to where like his body was like just imprinted in the couch. Like that's how long he was there. And like he really just kind of like changed the dynamic of like how the house was, because before like me and Auntie Keisha, like we would kind of like hang out a little bit. Like we would watch movies, like we would go to the movies and stuff. Like she would rent movies, we would hang out downstairs in the living room. But when Uncle Tommy got there, that was Uncle Tommy's house. Like he literally was in like a studio apartment. Like that's literally what it was. And I I'm not gonna say I was scared of Uncle Tommy, but just knowing the stuff that Uncle Tommy did, like as far as like stealing and stuff, I don't know if this man is on drugs. I don't know what he got going on. So like I would barely go downstairs. Like if I was going downstairs, I would just go like to like wash my clothes or like just do stuff like that, because in my room I kind of had everything that I needed. So like I had like a fridge, like a little mini fridge in there. I had my TV, I had like my bed, I had a day bed in there, I had like my like space for like to put all of my stuff, like a closet, all that. It was still shared with her stuff, but I still had basically like a LA one bedroom upstairs, and then like the my bathroom was across the hall. So really, what I would do was I would just go to the store and just buy up like a bunch of like lunch meat or like microwavable foods, like just different stuff that I could keep in my room. And I wouldn't have to go downstairs so much because I had everything that I needed up there, right? Everything I needed but a door. Sorry, y'all. I live in the city, so you're going to hear some stuff. But yeah, so one day I come home and I'm just like, I'm about to just fix me a sandwich or whatever, right? Because I done went to the Publix and all that. I got, like, I literally would have like bread, cheese, mayo, mustard, all that stuff, like, just in there, just for me, just in case, like, when I get off of work, I want to have me a little, and, like, watch Daria, like, just kind of do my own thing. And I come home and I'm like, I go in my fridge and I'm like, I didn't drink this juice. Like, why is my juice so low? So I don't think nothing of it, because like I said before, when I would get off of work, I would come home, I would do a little, you know, and then I would make myself something to eat. So I'm like, well, maybe I like drunk a bunch of it and I just didn't realize it. But I would go in that fridge every day because I had waters in there. Like it was a nice size fridge, to be honest. Like honestly, her that bedroom was like half the size of my apartment. My apartment is like what, like almost 700 square feet. So that thing was like probably like 350 square feet, and it was lovely. Like it was great. Like honestly, if things were different, I probably would still stay with Auntie Keisha. I don't know. I was only paying her like $50 a month, so and that was a lot to me back then. Like I had no money back then. Like, woo, broke wasn't even the fucking word. So I'm like, okay, like my juice is kind of like whatever. Now, the other thing I forgot to tell y'all about was Uncle Tommy is diabetic. So Uncle Tommy has like medicines and things that he has to keep in the fridge. Well, all of a sudden, Uncle Tommy's stuff is in my mini fridge. So I go to my aunt and I'm like, Keisha girl, why is his dialysis stuff in my fridge? And she was like, oh, something happened with my fridge, whatever, it's not getting as cold, blah blah blah. So okay. Now you already said this man be stealing. And now, like, I gotta watch out for everything. I'm already lying to the man, telling him I bought this TV for me, so he won't steal it because he don't have no respect for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and now he got to keep his insulin in my fridge. I don't like that. So I didn't think nothing of it. But like I'm starting to think like as time goes by, I'm like, well, she got the fridge fixed, so why is his stuff still in here? Like now this means this man is going in my room every day. You know, he gotta go get his pen and stab himself. Like get him, you know, whatever, get his body regulated. Mm. Do you know one time I was rushing to go to work, I was late. Um I had woke up late or whatever. Usually in the morning, what I would do is because sometimes Uncle Tommy had to go to therapy. We just gonna call it therapy for all the stuff that he had going on. So some mornings I would get up and I would get up a little earlier because I had to drive farther. And he would just ride with me and I would drop him off at therapy and my aunt would pick him up when she got off of work or however they had it figured out. So I was rushing to leave or whatever, and you know Uncle Tommy is a thief. So I used to sleep with my wallet in my bed, like literally. I used to sleep with my wallet in between my hands like this, like because I was like, I do not want this man to rob me. He can take anything else, but he cannot have my accounts. Like, and I'm still kind of like that to this day. Like, as long as I have my money, the physical stuff, the tangible items, I don't care. Like they can be replaced, but like my money, no. So this night I didn't do that. Maybe I was like drunk or something. I don't know because I was getting up late for it. So like I'm scrambling out of the house. Uncle Tom was like, "Hey, can you take me down to the therapy?" I was like, "Oh no, Uncle Tommy, I can't do it. I gotta go. I gotta be at work in 30 minutes, and I work an hour away." So I left my wallet. You know, this man has to go into my room every day to go get his insulin out. So he literally goes into my room. He like he goes to my room, he steals my wallet, he gets his insulin, he does all that like so quickly. So like I literally left out of the neighborhood and I realized I didn't have my wallet. So I turned back around. That was all like within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, this man robbed me. Like straight up. Like he don't have it. My door doesn't have a lock. I don't have a door. And if I did have a door, I wouldn't have a lock on it. So it's like he just literally just gonna just upstairs real quick. So I come back and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot my wallet, like whatever. Uncle Tommy's laying down. It looks like he hasn't moved from off the couch. I'm going through the bed. I'm like shaking the bed, shaking the bed. No wallet. So since I'm so late, I'm not really trying to take too much more time in like trying to find out where this wallet is. I'm just like, well, shoot, I got Apple Pay. I'm not really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really like tripping. Maybe it's somewhere in my car because I would keep my wallet either in my car or in between my prayer hands when I was sleeping. So like maybe I'm just tripping. So I go throughout the whole entire day. Child. When I get home, I check my bank accounts. Credit card ran up. Debit card number one ran up. Debit card number two ran up. Debit card number three ran into oblivion. Like all the accounts were in the negatives. Like when I tell you like that stuff was like negative 500, negative 1,000, negative 1,500. Like he was like working me. Like I mean, it was crazy because like what happened? So I tried to buy something and like my card declined. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just check my account. So that's when I saw that all of my accounts went in negatives. Like everything was at least negative 500. So I'm looking at the transactions and I'm like, who went to the gas station? Who went here? Who went there? So I'm calling the banks and I'm just like, um, I've been robbed, like all this stuff. And now it's not making sense to me because it's like, well, maybe I did go out that night, but I'm really good at keeping my wallet with me. So it should have either been in my car or in my bed. So I'm looking at the locations of everything that's being swiped, and it's all like within like a 3 mile radius of this lady's house. When I get home, Uncle Tommy ain't there. Uncle Tommy gone. Auntie Keisha, she works at night. So she's either asleep or getting ready for work because I think she would go to work at like 9, 10 o'clock. I worked retail, so I would get off around like usually like 7, 8 o'clock, 8:39. So like like we're passing. There was something that always stuck out to me. Auntie Keisha said, whenever Uncle Tommy gets money, he does not come home. You won't see him for a while, right? So even like when he got paid from like his contract and stuff and all of that, he would get his check and he would go blow it on whatever he blows. Well, we found out what he was blowing it on. Like, but was he really spending the money if they was wanting it? So there's another story time. Like, this is not going to be a whole series. So like, he goes and he spends his money on what he wants to spend his money on, and then you don't hear from him for a couple of days. And then when he runs out of money, that's when he comes back home. So I'm thinking to myself, that's in the back of my mind. I'm like, I'm at home. Uncle Tommy's not at home. My accounts are rolling in the D or in the N, the negatives. She's getting ready for work. What am I supposed to do? So I told my aunt, I'm like, hey, Auntie Keisha, I don't have no money right now. I got robbed. Like, somebody has my accounts. Can you front me some bucks, some dollars to get me through the week so that I can, until I get my account. And once I get my account current, I'll give you a call. Not give you a call, but I'll give you your money back. This lady was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna have to move some stuff around. I'll think about it. How much money do you need?" And I'm like, I don't know, like probably like $50, $60. Like, I'm not thinking much money because at the time I think gas was like $2, $3. I drove a Honda Civic. So I mean $25 would get you around for the rest of the week. Like, I couldn't really go to any parties or anything, but it'll get me around. Another one of the cards that I had in there was like my mom's credit card because let me not tell y'all that. I don't want to seem too privileged on this. But I mean, I guess I've already said it, huh? So like when I moved to Atlanta, my mom gave me one of her credit cards for me to like get gas and stuff. So like if I ever needed anything, I could always use that card. But that card was now. So I'm like, okay, girl. So next thing I do, I call my mom, and my mom was like, "Okay, this is what we'll do. I will send your aunt some money. She'll give you the money in cash." My mom tells me how much money she's going to give me. Why? Let's say my mom was going to give me $125. Why did my auntie only give me 60? Like whatever it was, she gave me half of it. I was so pissed because I'm like, I don't think that she's supposed to know that I know how much money the lady sent me. So I'm just like, okay, you're using the rest of that for yourself, and your nephew is like, whatever. So all this stuff is happening like over the course of like 3 and 4 days. Uncle Tommy has not shown back up to this house. So Uncle Tommy, it's safe to say the man has robbed me because if you never have money and you're always at home, and then it just so happens that when I get robbed, you don't come back to the house, and everywhere that these people are spending money at is close by the house. What am I supposed to like? That's what I'm going to believe. So I take my aunt out to lunch over the weekend because she didn't work on the weekends. And I was like, hey, auntie, you remember that time when you told me about how Uncle Tommy stole your watch and pawned them, and how when he don't have money, he just be hanging out around the house, but when he gets paid, you don't see him for a couple days. I was like, well, my wallet is missing. I left here. He was the only person in the house. I know that that wallet was in my bed, and now all of a sudden he's gone and my money is gone. I really do feel as though Uncle Tommy stole my wallet. And she was like, why would you think that? And I was like, for all the reasons I just listed, bitch. He definitely has robbed me. So I started reading off the transactions, and she was like, well, it's plenty of people that go to that gas station. You can't just say that one person goes to Texaco. And I'm like, well, that's the gas station that he goes to all the time. That's the gas station that I drop him off at so that he can pick up and do whatever. So I'm inclined to believe that the person who robbed me is him. So then she was like, because I was telling her there was a bunch of like gas station transactions, and with that particular gas station, you don't need a PIN number or anything. You can just do shit. So she was like telling me, she was like, like it could have been somebody just like selling gas. So like if you really like live in like the hood, or just like certain parts of America, there's people who sell gas at the gas station. Like you can buy the gas at the pump, but there's people who will like get you the gas at a cheaper rate. So like if you need to fill up and it costs you like $40, instead of you paying the $40, you can pay somebody $30 or like $25 and they'll give you the same amount. But the only reason why they're doing that is because the money that they're using to pay for the gas is not their own. They're paying on a stolen card. So you can only do it at certain gas stations that don't require a PIN. Mm. So I say all that to say, my auntie Keisha did not believe me. This man left for so many days. But the moment that I actually cut all of my cards off, where was he? Back at that doggone house. On top of that, like, once I finally got all of my stuff situated, do you know what this man did? He gave me my wallet back. He was like, hey, man, I was cleaning up downstairs and I seen your wallet. And I know you've been looking for it. I'm like, sir, are you serious? You are literally admitting to a crime. Like, even when I was like talking to like the people at the bank and stuff, they were just like, I was having a hard time getting my money back because they were like, it really just looks like you did this. Like, they used your PIN number, or like they used all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you would be able to use all that if you had my physical wallet or if you knew me personally. Because at the time, my PIN number was certain numbers that if you know me, you would be able to guess them. And with fraud stuff, it's very hard to dispute debit transactions because you need a PIN. So like they use that as, as your personal identification number. So if somebody has your personal identification number, it should be the person. So I had a time at Wells Fargo. Like I literally ended up breaking down crying, like just, and like they were like, why don't you press charges? And I was like, because it's my aunt's boyfriend. She don't believe me. I know he did it. I don't have physical proof. Like, it was just too much. But ultimately, this man gives me my doggone wallet back. Now, I'm telling y'all this story because I just want to lay the background for all of the characters that we're going to meet and all the things that are going to happen that are going to bring you to today's time. And it's truly going to explain to you why I am the way I am today, which is a little unhinged and a little um, untrusting of people. But That's all that we have for this episode. But just know, next story time, we're gonna be talking about Uncle Tommy again. Uncle Tommy has committed Uncle Tommy has committed so many crimes against me that honestly I feel like if I publish everything, he would go to prison. But it is what it is. Like, it was years ago. It was a learning experience. Like, I've truly like grown past it. I've learned so much about family and friends because of that situation. But we're at the 30-minute mark and I'm not editing this video. So everything that's in here is just going to be in here. I'm tired of editing. I don't have much storage. I'm literally filming on my MacBook. So I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.